So, how do you take all that energy and passion that young people have and turn it into real, actual change in a community? Well, in Kapangan, Benguet, the answer came together in one single transformative day. Today, we're going to tell the story of how a determined group of young leaders went from just talking about ideas to building concrete action plans.
I mean, just look at this photo. You can practically feel the energy coming off the screen, can't you? This is so much more than a group picture. It's really a snapshot of pure commitment. These are the bright young minds who all came together for one reason: to learn, to plan, and ultimately, to lead. And this is where it all kicks off.
All right, so what does it really take to get an event like this off the ground? Let's peel back the curtain a little bit and look at who was involved and what the driving force was behind this whole day.
Okay, let's set the scene. The date was February 23rd. The place? Laman, Kapangan. The official event title was Local Youth Development Plan Training. But really, it was all about one thing: creating a dedicated space where these students could focus on nothing else but building the future.
Now, you know, things like this don't just magically happen. And what's really cool here is the partnership that made it all possible. This wasn't some top-down command. It was a true collaboration between the Department of Education and the Sangguniang Kabataan, that's the local youth council, who actually provided the funding. And that tells you everything, right? The whole community was invested in this.
And just look at the scale of this thing. We're not talking about a small handful of students. We've got 27 elementary school student government presidents, another 8 from the secondary schools, and on top of all that, there are advisors, coordinators, and even former officers. That is a serious powerhouse of emerging leaders all in one room.
Okay, so you've got this room buzzing with enthusiasm. What's next? You have to give them the right tools and that little spark of inspiration. And in this next part, we're going to see how some seasoned mentors did exactly that.
Stepping up to the plate was one of the day's key figures, Kimbrel L. Ramos, the SK Federation president of Kapangan. He led a really essential discussion that basically laid the groundwork for everything else that was about to happen. So what was that groundwork?
Well, it all came down to 3 little letters: PPA, Programs, Projects, and Activities. It sounds so simple, but it's a really powerful framework. Think of it like a blueprint. It stops you from just saying, let's help people, and forces you to get specific about how. This one tool was the key that unlocked the entire process. And the inspiration didn't stop there. Genevieve Serrano also shared her experiences drawing from her own regional level training, and her message really captured the spirit of the whole day: shaping young leaders for tomorrow. It's a great way to connect their local work to a much, much bigger picture.
So, they've got the framework, they've got the inspiration. What's next? Well, the most important part, of course, getting their hands dirty and turning all that potential into an actual, real plan. Let's see how they made that jump from learning to doing.
I absolutely love what these 2 pictures show us, because on one side, you have this high-energy, collaborative, kind of fun activity called tower building. It's all about teamwork and communication. And then on the other side, you see these moments of deep, quiet, individual focus. It just perfectly shows the 2 sides of leadership, doesn't it? The group effort and the personal concentration.
So, how do you turn a big room full of ideas into a concrete plan? You follow a process. They started by learning that PPA framework, so everyone was on the same page. Then, they brainstormed in groups, just getting all the ideas out there. Step 3 was the crucial one: drafting the plan, actually getting something on paper. And finally, they polished it all up to present. It's just a simple, effective roadmap from an idea to a finished product.
And here's the part that made sure this wasn't just a fun exercise for a day. There was a hard deadline: May 22nd. This is such a critical detail because it's the thing that turns the energy of a workshop into real, tangible results.
And that brings us to the final chapter of the day. This is the culmination of all that hard work. It's about showing what they've created and, maybe more importantly, looking ahead to what's next.
And here it is. This is that moment in action. A young leader stepping up to the microphone, presenting their team's vision to everyone. This is that moment of ownership, right? Where they're not just students anymore, they're planners and they're advocates for their own communities.
So how do you keep that momentum going long after the workshop is over? Well, you add another layer of motivation. They introduce the idea of the Cheyenne Neal Award. And it's not just a prize, it's a powerful incentive. It's a clear signal to these young leaders that their hard work is going to be seen, it's going to be recognized, and it's going to be celebrated.
The day ended with a really powerful closing message from Public Schools District Supervisor Virginia B. Salioan. Her theme, Ways Forward for School and Community Service, just perfectly wrapped up the whole purpose of the event. It wasn't an ending, it was a beginning, a charge to go out and make a real difference. You know, seeing these young leaders in Kapangan go from learning to leading in just a single day is incredibly inspiring. And it leaves me with one final question. And it's not just for them, it's for all of us. Whether it's something big or something small, what's the first step you can take to lead in your community?